can tell your friends about it. Go tell your friends about it. Tell them about it.
The best memory for me is probably graduating nursing school, only because I had been in between what I wanted to do when I went to college. Like, I went to school for, like, broadcast journalism, and then I was just like, okay, I'm going to go to school for nursing. And in the U.S., nursing is a very good career. It's very lucrative. And so when I went to nursing school, I knew that it would be a way for me to provide financially for myself and for my family. So when I graduated, I knew that, you know, like, my family would be okay.
That's actually really cool. I think we could actually talk about that, because in New Zealand, like, nursing is not really seen as something that is going to make you a lot of money until recently. Yeah. And actually recently, nurses have actually been granted quite a large pay rise that is to try and, you know, retain nurses in New Zealand, stop them from going overseas. Yeah. Which I think is so amazing. But when I first got into nursing, we weren't paid that well. And to be honest, the only reason that I chose nursing was because I was interested in medicine, and I thought it was going to be something that I was going to be a career that I could be interested in. I never went into it thinking it was going to make me money, which is different from what you went into it. You know?
I mean, like, that's a real hard one, but I definitely think my first year after, like, graduating was, like, because when I graduated, because, like, midwifery is a really difficult degree here because we do it very differently to other countries because, like, with midwifery here, you have a lot of what we call, like, autonomy, which means that, like, you have full prescribing rights.
Huge responsibility of midwives.
You are in charge of somebody's full care. Yeah. You know, you do the full labor and delivery, you know, because we home birth here. And especially for me, like, I do a lot of home birth. So it's a lot of responsibility.
And I was going to say, like, home birth is a huge thing in New Zealand. It's not really a big thing overseas as it is here. You know, well, like, overseas, home birth, like, everyone has babies in the hospital, or they have it in, like, a birth center, you know? So, like, a home birth here is, like, it's very popular. Like, my mum had 5 babies, and I think she had 3 of them at home, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. So,
crazy.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing, is, like, overseas, it's normally, like, a luxury to have a home birth because it's a luxury that you had somebody to be on call for you. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. So overseas, normally you've got one person who's looking after maybe, like, a whole bunch of people, or you're cared by, like, a group of midwives maybe, and you are always coming to them. Like, you never really have somebody on call for you, whereas here it's very, like, one-on-one, like,
which is beautiful and really cool. You get to know your woman and their partner and their baby.
No, exactly.
So much closer.
And, like, I've been so close with, like, so many of, like, my home birth mums because it's like we have, like, such a journey together. But no, I think that first year after I graduated was, like, amazing because it's like I didn't really realize how much money I'd make.
Yeah.
Like, well, and I think, like, that first year, I lost my head.
When I met you, I said to her, I said, what do you do? I said, where do you get your money from? She goes, well, she kind of explained to me, you know, how she makes her money and what they get paid as midwives. And I'm sitting in my seat going, like, because I wanted to be a midwife. That was what I wanted to do. And I, for some reason, I thought midwifery and nursing was kind of the same. The reason I didn't go down the midwifery pathway was actually because I wanted to do nursing so that I could have a kind of more open option. You know, I didn't want to just center myself to only being a midwife. I wanted to be able to do this, do this, do this. But honestly, actually, I wish I'd just stuck to doing midwifery because I actually think, like, the freedom of, like, time that you get and the money that you earn is actually really good.
Well, the difference though is, like, if I had gone and worked within a hospital, I'd be on a like salary. But because I'm self-employed, it's very different. So being on a salary, I would have been paid. It is like nurses. Like, I think they are pretty similar. But being self-employed means I can have that option to earn more because, like, also there are midwives, like, who are self-employed that they don't earn that much.
Well, they take on only a few births,
because it's a really big job, and being on call for so many people. Like, you guys have seen me be called out random times. I could be in the middle of anything, and I'm called out. I gotta go.
I want to say a story, but I
don't. We're not even getting into that.
But let's just say she's dedicated to her job.
She's very dedicated.
If you are having a baby baby, she will show up on time.
Be on time.
She will be there, no matter what.
One thing about Sev is you can count on her to be there.
Right? Yes. I'll pick up that call in the middle of anything.
Yeah, I agree. I want Sev to deliver my baby.
I remember she got a call, and I remember her on the phone, and this is her exact words. Get down. Put a towel under you. I'm coming.
Hold that
Put
baby
a towel under you. I'm coming. And I'm sitting there going, yes, you go, girlfriend. You go get that baby. Like, and I'm sitting there, yeah.
I was like,
I was proud of her listening to her. Like, because when you like hear someone, you know someone on a friend basis, but when you hear them like talk in their professional world, you're like, wow,
exactly.
Like, it was really cool.
Okay.
No, it's like, it's amazing, but it's a lot of responsibility. But for me, I think because I was determined to like live a certain lifestyle, I had to make sure that I can work and make it work for me. And I think for me, it's just like I've set up my practice in a way that I can take more women but still being able to live like a balanced lifestyle. Because there are a lot of midwives who like, they literally don't go out, they don't travel or anything. But I've just kind of made my work be able to fit around
and
my life.
that's the important thing. And actually, I've actually recently done that. Like, because I work in an ICU, a pediatric ICU actually, and we work on a usually we do about 3 shifts a week, and they're 12-hour shifts, but they have to be half days and half nights. So for about 4 years I was doing that, half days, half nights. So and after a while it was really taking a toll on me, and only recently with our recent pay rise I was actually able to decrease my hours. So now I'm only doing about 2 shifts a week, maybe 3. And it's
that means she ain't working.
It has made the biggest difference to me. Like, I have literally come out of, like, I felt like I was in this like slump of just hating my job, hating also being outside of my job because I was so tired, and just the freedom of being able to earn more, work less. I'm better at my job. I'm better outside of my job. Like, it has changed my life, and I feel like I can stay doing this job but also keep up other things, you know? And I feel so like blessed to be able to like do that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's so important to like look after your mental health and like also look after yourself and like recognize when you're feeling really burnt out, because that's a huge thing in nursing and midwifery, probably any kind of healthcare job.
No, the balance is so important. Like, honestly, you cannot just work every day of your life and like you never really got to enjoy it, because honestly at the end of the day you just kind of feel like, what the fuck was it all for? You know, you got no memories made.
Giving yourself.
I want at my funeral you guys can play the coolest slideshow. Like, this girl really fucking lived.
Honestly,
you know what I mean? This girl was really out here.
It's so funny you say that, because like I literally every day I think like, you honestly, like if I did die tomorrow, like I'm not going to say that I haven't lived, because I've lived a really cool life up until now. Like the things that I have done, the people that I've met, the thing, like, and I do not regret any of it, you know?
No.
Well, I think with our friendship though, and the reason why we're friends is because my biggest thing is when I meet people, they always ask me like, why you're in New Zealand. Like, that's the biggest question that people ask me, like, what made you come to New Zealand? It's because I live life with no regrets. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to live a life that I can look back and say, I've done this and there's nothing else for me to do. You know? So
there's nothing that I want to do. There's nothing that I need to do. I've done everything that I need to do.
In life, my biggest thing is, you should live life like nobody's watching. You know, you do the things that you want to do. You meet the people that you want to meet. And honestly, when you meet people who you think... Because I was very much a person who thought I was the only one doing something. You know, like, I was the only one who's doing this, who's doing that. And then it's only until you start traveling and you live in another country where you meet people and you're like, wow, you've moved here too? For what reason? And then you ask them what their reason is, and it's so inspiring. It's like, you've done this because why? You know, because when you think you're the only one doing something, it's kind of selfish, right? Like, you think you're the only one who's done this, or you think you're the only one who can do this. And when you meet people who have done this, you're like, well, why have you done that? You know? And so, like, it's really inspiring to me that you live life like nobody's watching. You know, you live life in a way that you can look back and say, yeah, I've done that. I've done all the things that I want to do.
And that's something else, like, I think, like, the reason that we have all of, like, become friends so quickly, like, people literally say to me, like, how did you meet these girls? Like, who are these girls? Like, why are you so close? Like, what, like, is this? And I think it's because we're all alpha. We're all
so alpha.
We're all go, but also like it's so hard to find girls like you and it like us, you know, and that's the reason that we've come together and we have gelled so well is because we are all yes women. We're like, if someone says let's do something, we're all like, yeah, let's do it. Like, and no one's sitting there going, I think I might like just stay home tonight. You know, like,
well,
like
hold on, because listen,
we are all having fun. You know,
what's she talking about?
No, we are, and you know what?
She's talking about. She ain't talking about
with
me.
like with my other friends.
She ain't
like
about me.
with my other friends, like I was always the one that was like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. I was always the one that says yes, and I was like, I never wanted to go home. I was always the last one at the party, which is not a good thing, but also like other things, like I was always wanting to do things all of the time. Like I'm social. I'm what can I do tomorrow? What can I do the next day? I can't sit still. Like it's, and that's why we all get along so well. Is because we are all like that. Like not just party, but anything, like any opportunity, any activity. You know,
I think we're always trying to like seize the day.
Yeah, I think what makes this friendship so unique is that. I was talking to Seth the other day, and I called her, and I was like, listen, I had this, like, moment. I went for a walk by myself, which, you know, just to get some clarity. And
get back to nature.
Yeah, get back to nature. Get back to myself.
When your situationship is so hard, you got to get back to nature.
She was not walking in no nature.
No.
She was walking through the city.
Yeah. Ooh,
with her city ass.
Breathing in this nature.
She was walking through the city with her city ass.
She's in Victoria Park thinking she's in the Amazon.
Yeah, that's the most amount of nature this girl is getting.
Oh
but sure, carry on.
Listen, I was still in the jungle, but I was there. You know, I thought I was in this, you know, nature.
I was just walking around these trees falling down. I was thinking, Seth, you know what?
I was like, you know what? Let me call Seth.
Yeah.
And I was talking about our friendship because I was saying, I was like, wow, this friendship is really cool because I was saying, I look back and it obviously makes me like a little emotional because I look back and I think about my mom and I think about like the friendships that she had, and she moved from England to the US and she was kind of like, you know, she was really popular. She's very outgoing. She was always meeting people. Like everyone was talking about, you know, my mom, they were talking about, oh, do you know that girl from England? She's a really good soccer player, this, that, and the third. And then she had a group of friends, like you two girls that I had with you guys. And, you know, they were just out and about, like living their best lives. And I look back and I was like, my mom talks about it now, and I meet some of her friends, and they talk about how they went on, you know, spontaneous trips and had the best boyfriends and, you know, going to the best dinners and, you know, going to the best trips with their friends. And it's kind of a full circle moment for me because it's like I came to New Zealand and it's like I met you two girls and we're kind of doing that same thing. And it's like so crazy that, you know, we have this friendship because we're living our best lives in the best years that we can, you know? So,
and that's so true. Like, and like, obviously, like, it's so funny how you can go through life at all different stages. Like, I have a whole, like, all of these other friends, like, that I love. I love all my other friends. And, like, you know, but it's so funny how as you go through life and you go through stages and you go through the motions and you're moving from one place to the next. And, like, your friendships change, you know? And it's not that you need to stay in those old friendships. It's not that you need to like constantly be so loyal to those friends. It's literally because where you are in life right now, on your timeline, on your journey or whatever, like it is different to where your old friends are sitting or where your old acquaintances, boyfriends, whatever. And like as you move through, so does the people that are around you change. You know, like, and it doesn't mean you don't love your old friends or don't have time for your old friends. It's literally just where you are now is different. You know?
No, 100%. Like, some people are for reasons, some people are for seasons.
You know
what I mean?
It's seasons. Your friends come and go like seasons.
They do. But obviously there are some that like will keep coming back. There are some that like you'll have pauses in life where like you might not see or speak to each other for a while, but you know, like there will always just be that love there. And when you see each other again, it's like no time had passed. And then there's other people you meet that, you know, they're just friends for reasons. So you may have just had them around for a period in your life. And then, well, not that it was convenient, but I think everybody we come across in life is a part of your growth and in whatever lesson that you learn from them, whether it be like good lessons, bad lessons, but it's all lessons. Like you learn things from all people that you come across. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's a good point because you learn lessons from people that you come across. And I really think that meeting people will really teach you that.
Yeah.
Like meeting people from different cities, different cultures will really teach you that. And I know people sometimes say like, I don't like to meet people, I don't like to get out of my circle, but you need to do it.
Oh yeah.
You need
and
to
it's
do
hard.
it.
It's actually really hard to like to be like, I have these friends, but I don't really think that like, where they are, what they're doing, or who they are, or like is the same as what I am doing right now. So I need to move out of that. Like that's actually really hard to do, because the other thing is that you don't want them to look at you and go, why does she not hang out with me as much anymore? Or like, why is she like, and you don't want to hurt them or anything, but it's just like literally, even if it's not like geographically they're in a different place than you are, like, emotionally, physically, spiritually, they're just in a different place. And if you were to stay trying to catch up with what they're doing or keep up with what they're doing, you'd be moving away from what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So it's just about being like, you go on, you do your things, I'll love you, and, you come back to me. When you come back to me, nothing will change, but I'm not going to be pouring my energy into that friendship anymore, because that's just not for me anymore.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, because you've had that situation where you're at a point in your life where one of your friends or your best friends are moving overseas, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so you felt the need to move overseas with your friends, because it's the thing to do, right? Like it's fun. Your best friend's moving, like I want to move with my best friend and live life.
You can't chase the old versions of yourself.
Right.
You can't.
Exactly.
You, and I think that's like one thing that you learn as you get older, is that it's not about chasing everything to try and get to where you are and have the same situation in the next place and the next year and the next year. Like, it's actually about okay, this year, this is who I'm going to be. And I'm going to sit here, I'm going to work with what I've got.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a new scenario for myself, a new reality for myself. And it isn't going to look like what it was last time. Even if the last years of your life were amazing and you had so much fun with those people and they taught you so much and you love them, and, it's just like, if you were to stay in that box, like, that time's been and gone. You've had that season, you've had that motion, you should just be happy that it happened rather than keep longing for it not to be over, you know? So,
I think we talked about, I feel like in New Zealand, the thing to do is to move overseas, right? Like, that's the thing to do.
Everyone wants to do that.
Everybody wants to move overseas to go find themselves.
Because grass is always greener.
Yeah, the grass isn't greener. But I would say, for me coming and moving to a different country, I said this to you. I said, it's not, if you're happy with your family and what you have going on now, create relationships.
Why change a good thing,
create relationships that you have in New Zealand. And just keep flourishing. Like, you can grow and develop and be with your family.
Physically move.
You don't have to physically move to do what you want to do. Like that whole, I need to move overseas. Like, I compared it to in the U.S. Like, young people in the U.S. aren't like, I need to move to a different state to get out of where I need to go to. New Zealand is very much, I need to move overseas. People in the U.S. are like, I don't need to move, They create their family, their lives where they are.
I know.
And that's what I said to you. That's what you needed to do, Like, you've got a good thing here. New Zealand's beautiful. It's wonderful. Stay where you are. Create businesses here. Create relationships here. Meet people here. Get out and venture here.
Yeah.
I think that's always like the different mentalities, isn't it? It's more of like, if, you live somewhere and you're like, oh, there's not enough of like this kind of industry. It's like, all right, how do I start it? How do I bring it here?
Yeah.
Whereas other people are like, oh, okay, this industry is really lacking here, so let me go find somewhere else where it's hot.
Yeah. And that is something that we actually said when we all first got together. We said, New Zealand has so much potential. Why is this city not thriving? Like, we have got one of the most beautiful cities here.
Right.
Why is all of our young people leaving? Why? Why can we not start something here to make people want to come here and stay here? Like, why is this always like, I need to get out of here. I'm 22. I finished my degree. Now I'm going to go overseas. Why are people why are young people not coming here? Like, it's got so much potential. Like, all of these avenues that we could dip into and create something really cool here. And there's a few places that have started to do that. But I think, just realizing that, that work with what you've got. You don't always have to go overseas where there's going to be. Also, it's liquidated with so much competition and so much, like, why can we not start something here?
Yeah, it's just needing more people that are like more on that like entrepreneurial mindset where it's like they're not going to wait for somebody else to have this business. They're just going to figure out
into the business here in New Zealand.
How do I build that?
So much potential in New Zealand.
Exactly.
So much potential. Like coming from the US, I can tell you there's so much potential here in New Zealand. You just need to start tapping into it. Don't be afraid to not tap into it here. It's such a small market that even if you tap into it just
a little bit. And there's a lot of money here. There's a lot of money here.
You've got something great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, we really are in a generation where a lot of people, like, they haven't studied the career that they're in.
Yeah.
They just have figured it out along the way. And, like, I love that because, honestly, I feel like in this day and age, like...
You need to do that.
If you want to do something... you can figure it out.
Yeah.
You can figure it out. Whether you go learn from somebody that's already doing it, whether you just like hop on YouTube, whether you just do like a course somewhere, you want to do something, you can actually figure it out. Like, there's not too many things that are actually out of your reach when you can broaden your like perspective, and like broaden the type of people that you hang around. Because even for us, like we've learned so much just from being around certain types of people. And I think that's what's like changed our mindset to be like, let's, start businesses and stuff like that is more because we're around people that are like, well, why don't you?
Well, also, too, I think we're very picky about, we're not going to be in circles who we can't have conversations with you and you're closed off about how we start something. Like, I will never be in a group of people or somewhere where I can't learn from you.
Yeah.
So don't ever think that you are my friend if I can't learn something new from you.
Yeah.
And don't ever think I'm your friend if I'm not teaching you something.
See potential in people.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
So if we meet new girls and, they're on this, I can't do this.
That's too
I can't,
hard.
Yeah, giving us the side eye. You never know when you're in a room with someone who can teach you something.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to tell you that right now. And this is part of my journey of traveling. You never know who you can meet, who you can level up from.
Yeah.
So it's
going to open a door for you.
Yeah. Exactly. You walk into a room
with your head held high and own the room.
Exactly.
But also be nice to people.
Exactly. You walk into a room and someone's giving you can't give you the time of day. This whole tall poppy syndrome. You can't be in their clique. You know what? Keep your clique.
Yeah.
Keep it. Keep your clique.
That's not for me.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. Keep your clique because I'm trying to get in every clique and learn something from every clique, and you can learn something from me.
100%.
You know what I mean?
And start my own clique, and then you're gonna want to be part of it.
No, but no, 100%. That's the thing is like people forget. Like you might just meet somebody that looks like the average Joe, and then you find out, oh, he owns Google.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just need to take yourself off this little pedestal and just literally treat anybody you come across with just really good decency, positive energy, do you know what I mean? Like maybe just get to know a little bit something about them because you just honestly never know the people you're gonna come across.
Yeah. One thing I always said is, if you are the kind of person who is closed off and kind of even males or females who say, I can't make new friends not in my circle. Listen, when I was younger, I used to try and make new friends with everybody, but I've learned it's come full circle. I'm not friends with everybody, but I will get to know everybody.
Yeah.
I will get to know.
True.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I will get to know you. Like I might seem like, I'm stuck up or whatever.
I would,
But the thing is, I'm actually looking. I've
already sussed you out.
Yeah, I've already sussed you out.
Yeah, and I've already put you in a box, and I've said, okay, that's not for me.
Yeah, I've already sussed you out and said, okay, well, what can I learn from this person?
Yeah.
How can we move together? How can I, you know what I mean?
And I would say that's one thing about myself is the fact that people say the exact same thing about me, that I'm closed off, that I'm not that friendly, that when I meet someone, I'm not really giving you the time of day, which I actually feel a bit bad about that. I wish I was actually a little bit better at doing that.
Yeah.
But that is one thing with me is that I can very quickly meet someone, have literally a 5-minute conversation with them and be able to tell whether or not I'm going to continue that on, which is why I think it's taken me so long to make friends, because when I met you, it was like, and you, 5 minutes, and it was like, okay, no, I'm going to continue this on. Whereas everyone else was kind of like, it didn't really do anything for me. And I was just like, I mean, I could, or I could be friends with you, but I probably will still be in the same spot I am now. So
I think the other thing too is, you know, even if you aren't friends with them, they can also, I love networking. I love connecting people with other people. So I think the first person that I met was Jess. And what I said to Jess was like, you need to meet this girl, Sev. I literally said, you need to meet this girl, Sev. And it's not because I was like, oh, this is my other friend. I said, you need to meet her because I know that you want to be a midwife. She can teach you something. I literally said something like that to you. You know what I mean? Like, just thinking about the things that you wanted to do. You know? So you just need to be a little friendly.
I know. But it's also been really nice in terms of, like, between us, like, we banter and we pick on each other, but we have such an understanding of, like, everything we do is, like, we move with, like, the intention of, like, love. Do you know what I mean? Like, no matter what we tell each other, it's always, like we know it's always coming from a good place. So we can have such open and honest conversations in that way.
I would say that is that, like, I have never had friends where I would say, like, I would never, ever question your loyalty or where you're coming from. You know, like, even if it's like you're saying something to offend me, like, I've never sat there and thought, oh, maybe she's, like, maybe I'm actually questioning her. Like, I've never questioned that you would not be doing something in the best interest of me. Which that's actually really hard. I've had friends where actually I do often question where they're coming from, you know? Whereas with you, it's like no question. It's like, well, even if it's something that I don't agree with or I think it might actually be a bit offensive, I know it's actually coming. They would never put me in a position. They would never leave me out in the gutter. No matter what it came down to, I could say that these girls would pick me up and they would fucking bring me inside. So it's just like, you know what I mean?
I know.
And we'd never let you look crazy.
And that's really hard to find people like that. And also we've only known each other, what,
like 6-7 months?
Yeah. No, you are right. Like, honestly, question. But the thing is, this is what we're saying. We sussed it out. Loyalty was our biggest thing. I think when I could never go out to dinner with you, continue to go out to dinner, go to bars with you if I knew you couldn't be loyal to me. I'm just not that type of girl. I'm really not the type of girl to sit there and have friends who I know that if something happened to me, especially me being in a foreign country by myself, that if my flat tire went, I can't call Sev. If you know,
call me, I don't know how to change.
Like, if I don't know how to do something, I can't call Jess. I had no family here for Christmas. Jess invited me to her family. That's when I knew this girl was my friend.
I did. Yeah. She was like, I don't have anyone to go for. I said, well, come to my Christmas. We're going up the Sky Tower.
We went to the Sky Tower. And then Sev was like, come to my family. I was like, ooh.
And my family loved that. Like, when I said, like, oh, I've got this girl, like, I've met her. Like, I'm not gay, but, like, can she come to Christmas? My mum was like, yeah, of course, bring her. And we had such a fun time.
The amount of people who think me and Jess are together is wild. Literally, my mom asked me the same thing. She was like, are you and Jess? I was like,
no.
Because we're also, as well, like, so crazy like, we're so crazy comfortable around each other. Like, it's so wild. Like,
we all got matching tattoos.
Yes,
we do have matching tattoos.
Should we show them?
Oh my god, we do have matching tattoos.
I gotta pull that one out right now.
And you know what? There are so many times where I have been asked to get a tattoo with some of my friends, and I said no. Yeah. And you guys asked me, and I'm like, okay.
You might have been a bit drunk. I don't know.